Can we
Yeah, man.
talk
So,
about
so little demon. You want to talk about little demon?
real quick or not quick?
Yeah.
What a show, huh? I didn't see the show, but I've seen some, these clips.
I've seen
FX
clips. Yeah.
FX series. Basically, the premise is that you have this girl. She's 12 or 13. Her father is the Satan.
She turned 13, folks.
Yeah, her father is the Satan, who looks like a regular man, like who dresses up as a man or walks around like a man in human form. And her mother is, I guess, the biological mother is one of these freaks with tattoos and like a human who's into all kinds of occult stuff.
She seems to be like a Crowley type, Jack Parsons type person. She knows.
And so they have a lot of there's this one scene where she basically comes to fight. Oh, you know what? Let's play it for the folks.
Oh, where she talks about the uncircumcised rabbi.
Yeah,
like that.
Here. Little.
That's guess what? An uncircumcised rabbi, folks. That's not a rabbi.
Hold on. Challenge. Yeah, Laura. That's her mom. Picks a fight with Satan, who's played by Danny DeVito, by the way, the voice.
Yeah.
And Laura, the mother, is played by Aubrey Plaza, and from I guess
that one makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And the
creepiest hot chick ever.
Yes, the weirdo. And the little demon is played by Lucy DeVito, which is actually Danny DeVito's daughter.
Yeah.
Very strange. Okay, here we go.
Hey, everybody! This is my daughter.
That's Satan, who's dressed in brown regular pants, a sweater, and a
yeah, like Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. He looks like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And then there's a bunch of these creepy, demons behind them with their guts hanging out and all kind, stuff that probably people who took LSD and then created these cartoons.
Your ass or I'll slaughter your children. Proud of you.
Hey, what did he
say?
He said kiss her ass or I'll slaughter your children.
I'll slaughter your children. Proud of you. Hey, let's have a drink.
There's some sort of a Medusa. There's all these characters from occult.
Is he a dad or just a cool friend?
I was thinking that you're trying too hard.
They have all kinds of they have Chinese New Year, Chinese astrology things, like the tiger, year of the tiger, because it's the year of the tiger.
Snake with arms, around to something spicy. Speaking of spicy,
snake with arms.
Yeah, it's the bartender. There's a snake with arms as a bartender.
Snake with arms. That was the snake before he became a snake. That was the serpent.
You know what? I didn't catch that until just now.
And he speaks his own language. Listen to this.
Your mom, is she still an alcoholic?
Huh?
She fucked a lamp once.
I'm not interested. Wait, what?
it's cartoons for adults.
Look, she doesn't get you. I do. You're a teen. You shouldn't be living on the lam. You should be planting roots, doing normal teen things.
Really? Cool, because the Beast guys you said you'd be down to.
She has an all-seeing eye little hair clip. Little girl.
Wow, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that, literally a symbology. Crazy. Listen.
Give me a ride to
the abandoned taco shop. Blammo.
Wow, you're actually kind of okay.
A toast before you head out. To my freaking amazing daughter.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. Some Soviet stuff's happening.
Sorry.
Oh, well, thanks, Dad.
To your future and to consenting to join as sire and seed, reclaiming the infernal sovereign.
Ah, there it is.
What?
Your lame attempt to trap me in your binding agreement.
Oh, no. It's not lame at all. It's called Maximus Daunus. And when we carry it out together, it'll let us fold all the realms into one big, way more powerful, lawless universe. It'll be like an
unbelievable
anarchistic socialist utopia.
Anarchistic socialist utopia. You getting this, Rachel? You get that? You get that? You got that?
You know what? Let's leave her alone because
Marx is from the devil.
That sounds cool, right?
Oh, so here comes Mom writing it on some beast thing.
Mom?
She's buff.
Remember me, motherfucker?
How could I forget?
What? How did
You bulked up in a good way.
13 years preparing for the day this rotting chode would make his play and bridge our worlds.
You're welcome for giving you a higher calling than robo-tripping and tequila-soaked tampons.
Coming from a god.
See, she has like tattoos. She has like something in Latin, occult thing. She has something that in Hebrew, tafsik limtzot, basically like means stop sucking. I don't know what that means. She has like all kinds of tattoos, like occult things.
Oh, man.
We pretended to be someone else for 6 goddamn months. You gaslit the wrong bitch.
She's like challenging him. Oh, that's up.
Do? Kill me? I'm not Dracula. I'm the goddamn devil. You got about as much chance of laying a finger on me as ow. What was that?
Oil of Abramelin, blessed by an uncircumcised Kabbalist rabbi.
What?
By an wait, stop it.
Oil of Abramelin?
Abramelin? What is that? Can you look that up?
Oil of what melon? Of Abramelin? What?
I heard Abramelin.
Abramelin oil.
What is it?
Oil of Abramelin, a ceremonial magic oil blended from aromatic plant materials. This is Telema. This is Telema. This is from Telema.
What do you mean it's from Telema? It's literally from Telema?
It's used by. Listen,
I told you she was a Crowleyite. I told you.
Its name came about due to its having been described in the medieval grimoire called the Book of Abramelin, written by Abraham the Jew.
What?
Presumed to, not Avram Avinu, but some guy who lived from 1362 to 14. I'm going to read about this Book of Abramelin. The recipe is adapted to the Jewish holy anointing oil of the Tanakh, which is described in the Book of Exodus attributed to Moses. Abramelin oil became popular in the Western esoteric tradition in the 20th century after the publication of S.L. MacGregor Mather's English translation of the Book of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage, 1897, and especially via Aleister Crowley, who used a similar version of the oil in his system of magic with a C and a K.
I don't often pat myself on the back, but boiling it down to Crowley was good. I think that was even better than the Toolies.
There are multiple recipes in use today, and the oil continues to be used in several modern occult traditions, particularly Thelema and Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica. Let's read about this Book of Abramelin. Tells the story of an Egyptian mage named Abraham, or Abramelin, who taught a system of magic to Abraham of Worms, a Jew in Worms, Germany, presumed to have lived from 1362 to 1458. Wow, he's almost 100 years old. The system of magic from this book regained popularity in the 19th and 20th centuries, partly due to Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mather's translation, The Book of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage.
How come like the Western occultists, the non-Jews, are the only ones that know about this Jew?
Unbelievable. Den attributed authorship of the Book of Abramelin to Rabbi Yaakov Moelin, 1365-1427, a German Jewish Talmudist.
Let's look it up. Is this a real person?
Hold on a second. He actually is a real person. Hold on a second. Here. The grimoire is framed as a sort of an epistolary novel or autobiography in which Abraham of Worms describes his journey from Germany to Egypt and reveals Abramelin's magical and Kabbalistic secrets to his son Lamech. Internally, the text dates itself to the year 1458. The story involves Abraham of Worms passing his magical and Kabbalistic secrets onto his son and tells how he acquired his knowledge. Abraham recounts how he found Abramelin the mage living in the desert outside an Egyptian town, Araki, which borders the Nile. Abramelin's home sat atop a small hill surrounded by trees. He was an Egyptian mage and taught a powerful form of Kabbalistic magic to Abraham. He was a venerable, aged man and very courteous and kind. He discussed nothing but the fear of God, the importance of leading a well-regulated life, and the evils of acquisition of riches and goods. Abramelin extracted a promise from Abraham of Worms that he would give up his false dogmas and live in the way and law of the Lord. He then gave Abraham 2 manuscript books to copy for himself, asking for 10 gold florins, which he took with the intention of distributing to 72 poor persons in Araki. Upon his return, 15 days later, after having disposed of the payment money, Abramelin extracted an oath from Abraham to serve and fear the Lord and to live and die in the most holy law. After this, Abramelin gave Abraham the divine science and true magic, quote unquote, embedded with 2 manuscripts, which he has to follow and give only to those whom he knew well. The book exists in the form of 12 manuscripts and an early printed edition. The provenance of the text is not definitively identified. Earliest manuscripts are 2 versions of the date that date from about 1608 are written in German and now found in Wolfenbüttel. And now other 2 manuscripts are in Dresden and date from 17 to 1750. So they're talking about like just the origin of this. Oh, here you go. All German copies of the text consists of 4 books: an autobiographical account of the travels of Abraham of Worms to Egypt, a book of assorted materials from the corpus of the practical Kabbalah, including some of which is duplicated in the German Jewish grimoire called the 6th and 7th Book of Moses. Interesting. And the 2 books of magic given by Abramelin to Abraham. The well-known English translation by S.L. MacGregor Mathers from the French manuscript in Paris contains only 3 of the 4 books. The Hebrew version in Oxford is limited to book 1 without reference to the further books. Interesting. Of all the extant sources, the German manuscripts in Wolfenbüttel and Dresden are taken by scholars to be authoritative texts. According to respected Kabbalah scholar Gershom Scholem.
Oh, okay, there we go.
The Hebrew version in Oxford, we spoke about this clown, was translated into Hebrew from German.
Yeah, no. So
unbelievable.
No, he's actually saying that it's not like that the one that's even in Hebrew was not original, meaning it was translated from
an analysis of
German.
Listen to this. An analysis of the spelling and language usage in the French manuscript indicates that it dates to the 18th century and that it was likely also copied from the German original. Although the author quotes from Jewish Book of Psalms, Tehillim, the version given is not from Hebrew, rather it's from Latin Vulgate, a translation of the Bible employed by Roman Catholics at that time. The German esoteric scholar George Den has argued that the author of the Book of Abramelin was Rabbi Yaakov Moelin, a German Talmudist and Posek. Let's read about this Moelin guy. Talmudist and Posek from 1365-1427, best known for his codification of the customs, minhagim of German Jews, Yekis. He is also known as Macharil. Oh, the Macharil.
For the folks at home,
unbelievable.
We have the word minhag means custom.
Yeah.
And Yeki, that's just that's like German, a word that we use for German Jews specifically. We call them Yekas.
Listen to this. Magic word. This is before I continue about the Macharil, about this rabbi, I'm going to read here. Magic word squares. The practical magic of Abramelin centers around a set of talismans composed of magic word squares. These are similar to traditional magic squares, though the latter are usually composed of numbers, while Abramelin squares contain letters. Commonly,
very common in China, actually.
Yeah. Commonly, word squares are used as puzzles or as teaching aids for students. In the context of Abramelin, the focus becomes mystical, so that each square should contain words or names that relate to the magical goal of the square. The parallel is found in the famous Satoro Arepo Tenet Opera Rotas word square, an altered version of which is found among Abramelin's squares. For example, a square entitled "To Walk Underwater for as Long as You Want" contains the word mayim, the Hebrew word for water. A square for recovering treasures of jewelry begins with the word tifara, like a variant of tiferet, which can mean golden ring in Hebrew, and also the name of the sphere sphere.
Actually, I don't think it can mean golden ring in Hebrew.
Yeah,
I think that's just somebody's
maybe modern Hebrew, which has the planetary attribution of the sun on the Kabbalistic tree of life. Here, 19th century book of sacred magic. This occultist Samuel McGregor Mathers, magic described in the grimoire influential in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, of which Mathers was the head. 21st century German translation created.
That's where Crowley came out of, by the way.
Yeah. See, 21st century credited to Abraham Worms, edited by George Den. Araki. We read about this already. So this Macharil guy, the Hebrew acronym for our teacher Rabbi Yaakov Levi, as well as Macharil Sigal Machari Moelin. It was a source of law from his minhagim. Was a source of law for Moshe Israelis component of the Shulchan Aruch.
The Ramah, yeah.
So apparently, this scholar claims that Macharil wrote this Abramelin thing. He says recently, German esoteric scholar George Den has argued that the Macharil was also the author of Book of Abramelin, which he wrote under the pseudonym of Abraham of Worms. However, this is disputed.
I should pretty much damn think so.
Yes. Who's this George Den clown? Let's read about George Den. Блин, дед clown. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just the more you dig, unbelievable. Incredible. Astounding. Mind-blowing.
They make claims. They repeat the claims over and over again.
Yeah, and it's endless.
They talk about it as if the science is settled.
Yes.
You just take it for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ramah wrote this. For the folks at home, if you only understood how ridiculous that is.
Yeah.
That a person like the Ramah, Rabbi Moshe Isserlis, would go anywhere near such nonsense is absolutely unheard of.
Astounding. George Den. I mean, he's a German scholar. He wrote a book with this other guy, Guth, Guth, Stephen Guth, and have done a great job in this. Yeah, new translation. They wrote a translation of Abramelin, of not only language updated by George Den. Compiler editor has sourced his work from all extant manuscripts, while Mathers used just one. The result is a stunning new translation that has already set the occult world abuzz. Oh, really? The occult world is abuzz. It includes voluminous, important material left out of Mather's work, including the entire part 2 filled with magical recipes, important distinctions in the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel ritual, and complete word grids that were only partially completed by Mathers. This is an essential work for any serious practicing magician or student of occult history. $298 hardcover or used for $28.
Damn.
So you get 90% off if you buy it used. Nice, right? To get some magic potions.
Lovely.
Pidarase. I'm gonna use this platform to openly say the word, and I mean it. And I don't care what rabbi of mine is listening. These people are pidarase. And I mean that in both senses of the word. In the bad sense.
Sound it out, folks. Google it.
Exactly. Unbelievable. These are world-class occult pidarase, spiritual pidarase. But anyway,
the thing is, these Tulis and these Telemites, right, are the same ones who are making the claims, who write stuff like Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Yeah. So they write the stuff that accusing the Jews of the kind of stuff that they practice.
Yeah.
Didn't say it like.
Yeah. See, anyway. It says Abramelin oil. Look at this. Look at this. It gets into detail in the Wikipedia. Here, take one part. Dude, this is like reading Ketoret. You know, like the Ketoret part of davening.
You mean, folks, for the folks at home,
incense.
There's in the book of Vayikra, Leviticus.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Leviticus. Yeah. You'll find verses about the incense preparation for the tabernacle, for the Mishkan, and for the temple. Okay, it's written squarely. So it's called Ketoret. That's what Greg is referring to.
Yeah. So listen to this. This is from the book. This is from the book written by this Den and Guth clowns.
If you're gonna read, I'm gonna like a bum. I'm gonna put on tefillin.
Sure. See, it says take one part of the best of myrrh, half a part of cinnamon, 1 part of cassia, 1 part of galanga root, and 1/4 of the combined total weight of good fresh olive oil. Make these into an ointment or oil as done by the chemists. Keep it in a clean container until you need it. Put the container together with other accessories in the cupboard under the altar. Guth's translation of the recipe may be incorrect. The German sources clearly list kalmus, but instead of calamus, Guth has translated these in galangal. Taking this into account, the 5 ingredients listed by Abraham of Worms in the book of Abramelin are identical to those listed in the Bible. Only the proportions are slightly. Dude, what makes you wonder, why does Wikipedia go to lengths to give people this freaking formula and to tell them what's correct and what might be wrong and what might be right?
You know, it's shocking how much detail they have about this kind of information. But if you try to, like, for instance, type up like Laura Loomer, or my brother, or Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg,
and it's all it's all like
I tried to edit some stuff. This is years ago about Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg.
Yeah.
It was up there, and it was back to the bullshit that it was before I edited it.
Yeah.
Almost instantaneously. Yeah. It's almost like there's a full-time leftist troll there,
Yeah.
making sure that not a word of truth is allowed to be said about certain people.
Yeah. So let me just note that the proportions in this edition conform with the recipe for holy anointing oil from the Bible. Take thou also unto these principal spice. This is from Torah of myrrh 500 shekels, and sweet cinnamon half so much, even 250 shekels.
For the folks at home, shekel is a unit of weight.
Yeah. And of kane bosim, 250 shekels, and of cassia 500 shekels, and after the shekel of the sanctuary of the Mishkan, and of oil, not Mishkan, and of oil, olive oil, and hin, and thou shalt make it an oil of holy anointment compounded after the art of the apothecary. It should be a holy anointing oil. You understand that this is Sitra who gets it first. This is like pure example. Blah blah blah, more of the same garbage. Blah blah blah. See, they have like different formulas here, like this of the same thing, just different. They're giving you different versions. Oil applied to the skin. What else? Macerated abromelon oil, Mather's macerated abromelon oil, 4-part cinnamon bark quills reduced to powder.
For the folks at home, the anointing oil and the actual ketoret that was used, the incense offering that was used in the temple, which as required in the text of the Hebrew scripture, is I always wondered, is the highest guarded secret in Judaism.
Dude,
meaning most people assume that no one even knows it anymore, that we're counting on Mashiach to come back.
Yeah.
I like to speculate that there's a family of priests, Kohens, who have maintained the recipe very, very carefully from generation to generation and can produce it if necessary. And literally, even the leader of the generation is not allowed to know about it, like that kind of thing. But that's my own speculation.
Can I just read to you, knock your socks off right now?
Yeah.
Crowley also had a symbolic view of the ingredients that he found in the Mather's translation. This oil is compounded of 4 substances. The basis of all is the oil of the olive. The olive, traditionally the gift of Minerva, the wisdom of God, the Logos. In this are dissolved 3 other oils: myrrh, cinnamon, and galangal. The myrrh is attributed to Bina, the great mother. So now this guy's going into co-opting Kabbalah, who is both the understanding of the magician and that sorrow and compassion which results from the contemplation of the universe. Back to this universe thing. The cinnamon represents Tiferet, the sun, or the sun, like Ben, in whom glory and suffering are identical. The galangal represents both Keter and Malchut, the first and the last, the one and the many, since in this oil they are one. These oils taken together represents, therefore, the whole tree of life, and the 10 Sephirot are blended into the perfect gold. This is what the Crowley clown.
No. The thing is, I have a feeling that every mitzvah that we do that's numbered and organized in a certain way is related to the 10 Sefirot. I mean, that's not a secret.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this guy is getting the order right. Do you understand? But every mitzvah, every commandment in the Torah is connected to all the Sefirot, and its performance follows that. So that's not a controversial idea. Whether or not he's getting it right is a big if.
So listen to this. Oil of Amrelin was seen as highly important by Crowley, and the founder of Telema. He's used the version throughout his life. He went on to say, the holy oil is the aspiration of the magician. It is that which consecrates him to the performance of the great work, capital G, capital W, and such it is efficacy that it also consecrates all the furniture of the temple and the instruments thereof. It is also the grace or chrism, for this aspiration is not ambition, it is a quality bestowed from above. For this reason, the magician will anoint first the top of his head before proceeding to consecrate the lower centuries in their turn. So he's talking about Mashiach, basically, or his whatever idea of that. It is the pure light translated into the terms of desire. It is not the will of the magician, the desire of the lower to reach the higher, but it is the spark of the higher in the magician, which wishes to unite the lower with itself. This oil is currently used in several ceremonies of the Thelemic Church, Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica, including the rites of confirmation and ordination. It is also commonly used to consecrate magical implements and temple furniture. The Eucharistic host of the Gnostic Mass, called the Cake of Light, includes this oil as an important ingredient.
I just wanted to say that for the folks at home, that when you go through the list of commandments, right, there's the do's and the do nots.
Yeah.
So a lot of the do nots include specific types of pagan practices, specifically the practices of the Canaanites and also the Egyptians. That's specifically, okay? Those are very, very, very specific, disciplines, okay? And those disciplines involved specifically doing the things that God says not to do. But they're not doing it completely as, oh, I'm just, I'm like a rebellious kid and I'm not going to let anybody. No. That's not what's going on there. They understand that the commandments have an effect in the metaphysical realm. Like, there's gears and wires to the way God created creation. Okay.
Yeah.
So by doing the opposite, that has a specific effect on the universe. So they're going, to them, it's science, because it is science. Okay. So they're doing the science of evil.
Yeah.
Not just for evil's sake, but to accomplish certain things, which tend to be evil, by the way.
Why do you think Disney decided also, what's this whole thing with an uncircumcised rabbi? Kabbalist, I understand. Why
because people don't understand. Okay, first of all, when the average, let's say, American non-Jew, a Christian, hears Kabbalist, he thinks about, Aleister Crowley, and he thinks about all these people that they cocked on the word, basically. Yeah. Pardon my vulgar word, that's what they did. People don't know what Kabbalah is. They don't have no idea. To them, it's what, it's stuff like Crowley, or stuff like what they saw in that movie, Sherlock Holmes, the one with Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. Like, those kind of like weird satanic. That's what people associate with it. Yeah. But that was done on purpose.
Yeah. Well, at least they're not hiding anymore, my friend. They're not hiding anymore.
They're not hiding anymore because they're confident that most people won't be able to figure it out.
Well, we figured it out.
Yeah, but that's not who they're concerned about.
I know. We're the young fools. Young fool.
Yeah. We're wasting our time, apparently.